right, welcome to Code with Kamira. Yesterday, we ended at running our first application, and today the focus will be on understanding the UI. So in other words, our widgets. So we are going to explore the various widgets, and we are going to start with the column, containers, row, padding. That is it. All right, that shall be it. So we have our column here, and this column has children. So the children we can put, maybe let's try container. And the container has different properties. So we have padding, color, and alignment. So let's take color. Color, and we give the color, let's give this black. Also, our container needs width as 100, height as 100 maybe. You put any height, but this is for study purposes. So we can duplicate this to have different containers. So we give this one color orange. Let's give this one green. Okay, let's see. So you see our column has these containers. And now what we can do, we try to play around with the various properties of the column. So in a column, we have alignment, cross-axis alignment, main axis alignment. So let's try to play around with main axis alignment. Main axis alignment, we center. Okay, what does it do now? So it has centered the columns. And this, because we're saying main axis alignment, the main axis is the vertical for the column. The cross axis is the horizontal for the what? For the row, for the column. So we are saying here that we center like that. Then there is an option, maybe we could say space between. So this one has space between, okay? Now you could also do space around. So it means you are spacing around the items. So this is space around. So you could still play with space evenly. It means you want to create the same space. Now you realize that the bottom and the upper or topmost spaces are the same, but the middle spaces are not the same, because it was spacing around. Now we want to space evenly. Let's see what happens. You see now equal space, yeah, at the top and bottom and in the center or in the middle of between the items. All right, so what happens if we remove the width for this? It takes the entire width, okay? If we remove still width from this and this, you see, it takes the available width. Now, if we remove height, that's when problems come, because it means that you are saying that the container, maybe one that has no height, you are telling it to take the overall space. So it will cause problems. Let's see. If it has no height, no width, You see, it's nowhere to be seen. Okay, so we have this here. There are many properties in a column that you can try to utilize and see what they will play. For example, we could have size. We have the row now. Let's try to play with the row. Row. Okay, now this is in a row. You see now it fails in a row when it comes to lack of width and presence of height. Because now you see that in a row, what we focus on is the height is not that significant important, but the width is important. So we change this to width. We change this to width. Change this to width. Now let's see. Okay, but this width is too big. So let's try to give 10. Okay, this is the width. Yeah, actually we maintain this width is okay. Now the problem here is the height. So in a row, if you don't specify height, it's like you're telling it to take the wall height. Now this is how it will appear. But take a situation where you keep the first one, okay, maybe. But the second one, let's give it the height, like say 40. 40. Yes, this is its height here, too small. Then let's give, I think we can give 80 for height. Okay, the same here. Height, give 80. Okay, now, so I want to play with something here. So you see row, when say main axis alignment, it is like you're setting the horizontal behavior, unless cross. Okay, so if you say this, if you say space between, space around has created extra space, as you can see at the start and at the end. We have the extra spaces. Now, if you say space between, this is what is going to happen. What has happened? Space between. Oh, yeah, an error. You see the error here, children. Missing that. Okay. You see, space between is considering between the elements, but the extra space at the right and left has moved off. It has gone off. So you can have that. Someone would say, let's try in a row. Do it use the vertical, the cross? Yes, still. You can say something like cross. So you can say something like cross axis alignment. Let's see that. We say cross axis alignment, cross axis alignment. What do we want? Center, select the centered. So a cross-axis alignment in a row is you are referring to the vertical of the row, top, bottom. Now let's try to say start. Start. You see, it has shifted. Even this longer one is aligned to start, only that its height takes the whole device size. Okay, so this is what it does. And if you say end, this is what we expect to see at the bottom. So the widget has several, every widget has several, let me center this. It has several properties you can put into use depending on the given design that you would like to realize. Okay. Now, since we have that, let's try now to do something. Let's try to come up with something. For example, let's have our callback. Okay. Let's remove all this, all that. And if we hot reload, we should have nothing. So in the children, let's try to have a row. Okay. Now the row, let's try to have children in a row. Now we have a column. In a column, we've put a row. So we shall see the structure or the app that we shall be realizing. Now in this row, we have elements. So I think we can have icon. We want to put an icon. Maybe we say icon. And that is icons dot, maybe dashboard symbol. Dashboard symbol. Okay. Now we put maybe another column inside it. Okay. Yeah, that would realize something. Okay. We put another column inside it, and this column has children. Now the column has children, which is a text, and one is text should be let's build, and then another, what is this? Oh no. Okay. Let's build. Okay, let's build. Then maybe you could have another text. And that text is beautiful UI. So I want you to see to notice the layout. So, and the behavior. Okay. So you see that we have this. Let me increase some size. So icon, we could utilize a lot of, just because everything is a widget, everything you think of. So we are saying icon also has params we can take, or we can make use of, properties we can make use of. And I want the property for size here. There are so many. So I can say that size is 80. Okay. And I can choose my color. I think color. And I give it colors dot white. The background is white. That means need to do something else. Yeah, we shall play. Okay, let me give it green, because if I give it white, you will not be able to see it. Okay, that is it. Now you see that we have the text, yeah, and the text is too small. So we see what properties we have in text here. Still we have style. We have style and so many things. So let's try to style. Style, what style is it? Text style. Okay. Then in text style, what do we have? You already see here so many. So we have font size. Font size, you could make it 18. And font color, okay, font weight. You could say font weight. We make the bold. But anyway, now let's give it the 400. Let's see what happens. So this is what we get for let's build. Is it still small? Anyway, it depends on what your interest is. So basing on the design that you are presented, you can do magic, make things to work. So here we have this, okay? Now, you see that we have a row from here up to this side, okay? But this row has an element, the first one, and then it has another element which is a column, but the column has children, this and this. While the column and the icon are children of the row, the two text fields, two texts are children of the column. Now, if we put here that main axis alignment, now we get to use dot space between, it means that we are pushing the two elements apart, the icon and the column, not the elements inside the column, but the icon and the column. That's what the intention is. So it has moved them apart, okay, as you can see. Now, they are too close to the edge of the device. What do? You can think of wrapping this row into a padding. Now we come to learn another widget. Padding pushes the child with a given set values of padding. So here we are saying padding all, okay, 8. You see, you notice some extra spaces created. So still, even with padding, you could choose, is it symmetric? So we could say padding dot symmetric. Now, symmetric, is it vertical or horizontal? We can choose horizontal. If you put horizontal, it definitely means the space will be created on the left and right, but not at the top and bottom. You see, it is no left, right. All right. So now you also notice that the column component here, or the column widget, has the children, these two texts, okay? But these two texts of the children, by default, they are centered as this column. Yeah, they are centered, but doesn't give a good look. So let's see what happens. We want to put them on the same level. So we can say, so level, on the same level of the bottom of the right, left. That means we are crossing the what? The column. So it is cross-axis alignment, dot start. Does it exist? Yes. Let's see now. Yes. So you see that they are on the same level. Okay, we have that now. So you can do much. Now we have different elements. So now this is a row. Remember, we have our overall column, this one, which has a padding, that a padding has a row, and then the children, just remember, you follow how UI is designed, the designs that you are given, and you realize what is expected. So we have the column here, and the padding as a first child. We can decide to put a button. Now, which button? Elevated button. Okay, on press of the button, so anonymous function and what it should do. Okay, and then the child, that is the text you want the button to have. Maybe you call it click me. Okay. All right, and now here is, we are going to print something. You have clicked me. Okay, you have clicked me. Let's try to run to hot reload. Now the button is here, too small. So as I mentioned again, everything is a widget. Now this elevated button is a widget, but it has properties we can make use of. On press, we are done. On long press, on hover, depending on how your design is. So we can look for child, we have child, and so what else do we want to look for here? Okay, background, button color, does it exist? Style, does it style exist? Clip focus, style exists. Okay, now this one you're going to play around. So it's not that one knows everything, but everything is available. It's upon you to utilize it. So use style. Which style now? It's a button style. Okay, what do you want inside here? Do you have color? Button style, what do you have? Icon size, this, elevated icon, text style, for background color. Yeah, background color. All right, we just set property. I think, so what does it do? So from map, think all. Which value? Colors dot blue. I think this works. Okay. So we can have our button there. Now, okay, let me see the console. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we are going to click the button and observe what happens. So if I click here, I expect something. You clicked me. You clicked me. Yes, you clicked me is here. You clicked me is here. So if I click again, another one has come. Okay, so that's the button. Now, what else do we want? We could have some two containers. So this is what we said we are trying to see, column, row. We could have a container. I think we can have another container here, just above the button. It can be a row with two buttons. Okay, so what do you, widget, we are trying to learn the various widgets and we make use of them. So we can have a row with children, and these children could be containers. Container with their sizes, width, 100, height, 100. Then we think of, so we think of the design. So we can't put color now. What I'm going to do is duplicate this. We have two containers. Now these containers, I'm going to give them the color, but let me design them. We have decoration and box decoration. So the properties exist. All you should know is that the properties do exist. So decoration, We have border radius. We want to give a border radius, so we say border radius dot circular. Then you put the radius, maybe 20. Okay. And maybe you want to give the color. Okay. But we can give the border. We'll say border dot all border dot all. What is the color of the border? Colors dot green. Width, you give it 1. So what is this? Okay, so you see the patterns here. Now let me just duplicate this and make some modifications. Okay. There too. Now let me give this border gray. Gray. Oh, gray and green, they may be confusing. I give it blue. Okay. Now this is a row. We space them. Main axis alignment. Main axis alignment. Should we say space between? Space between, we push them with no space at the extremes. Space evenly will ensure there is uniform space on both sides of the elements. Do we need that? Let's see. Okay, so we have that. I think it's too much space, so we can say space between. Space between. Yes, we have space between. All right, though space between, we can still, because we need some extra space. You see, space between doesn't give us an extra space. Let's give it the same space we gave this. Okay, we gave the upper part padding of 16 horizontal. So we can say this wrap with padding. Okay, but this is symmetric. All right, but we need space again. We need some space between the upper part and these containers we are creating. So it shouldn't be symmetric. We say all. And let's give 16 and see. Okay, we have our design here. So next, what do we put as the child? Because the container has the child. Yeah, we can put something like, okay, child. Let's use icons still. Say icons dot dashboard. Okay, as the child there. And also this one, we give it a child. Now, should I use, okay, icon, and we pass icons dot flutter. Will I get flutter icon? Really, I've never used it. And I don't think it does. No. Stop. Okay. So that is it. What are we realizing? Now, we still have a lot we can do with container. We can give the color, but we can't put color inside the container if we have a decoration. If I put color, it will throw an error. Colors.black to complain. You see? So that means this color, because you have the decoration here, that's where your color can be put. Okay, the color is there. But now you see that the color of the icon is different. The icon is not visible. So we give this star color colors.white. So the icon is there. We can add size 30. Is it too big? Okay, what is 50? That is too, yeah, 50. Let's give 60. That is it. I think we can give the same also here. Dashboard size, give it 60. Yeah. So this is what we have designed so far. There is a lot, but as I mentioned, we only need to understand the basics. Thank you. Let's catch up on the same channel, Code with Kamira, where beginners become professionals. All right. See you next time.